standards of dating change after age 30? The length of the dating period, your boundaries, your accountability, etc.
Alright, I don't think that the standards of dating should change. I just think that at the age of 30, you should know already what you want. I mean, I think at any point you should kind of know what you want in a sense. But I think that everybody or people at a certain age are still learning themselves. And I think at the age of 30, you kind of know what you want already, based on whether it's been because you dated someone previously or whatever the case may be. But the standards in reference to ensuring that they're godly standards and ensuring that everything that you're doing is acceptable, I think that shouldn't change.
I mean, provided we're actually dating properly from the beginning, then I don't think the standards should change. I feel like a lot of us don't really date properly because we don't even ask questions. We just meet a person, we like them, we feel like we love them, and then we just go and say, okay, I'll date you, but we don't say, okay, well, do you have a job? Are you working? Are you consistently working? And not for the sake of like, oh, are you making money so that you can pay for dinner and stuff like that, but to find out like, is this person a responsible person? Where's this person's mind at? Like, do they have certain family ideals or understandings of how to raise a family or be a family? So, with that being said, once you already identify what is proper standards for who you should date and who you should marry, and most importantly, who you should marry, the standards should really never deviate, in my opinion.
Well, I don't think it should change, no, and like number 9 said, at the age of 30, I think you should already know what you want.
I believe if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you had good biblical standards before that you're following, I believe that you can still, after the age of 30, still stick to those standards. Albeit, in terms of length, like somebody said that you should be at that point where you really know what you want. So I don't think you have to date for a longer period of time than that person that says 18 or 20, even though we understand that age can be quite arbitrary, because we have some very mature 18-year-olds that, could run circles around those who are 30. So I just think when it comes down to the length of it, I think that's adjustable, depending upon your maturity and what you know. But when it comes down to having those standards in place that you had before, because I don't care if you're 40, you still need accountability, So with those type of things, I think they tend to stick regardless of the age.
Can a person be too holy to date? If so, what would that look like?
I don't think so. I would love someone like that, actually. That would be great. Just praying all the time and going to church, and his walk with the Lord is great. He would encourage me to be, a better Christian. So I don't necessarily agree with that. I would rather him be a lot holy. That would be good for me, because I'm not that holy. I'm working on it, but it'll be good if he's like that, because, like I said, he'll encourage me to encourage me in my walk with the Lord. So yeah.
I don't think a person can be too holy. Scripture does require us to be holy as Christ is holy, but it all boils down to standard. Based on the person who you're interested in dating, and also based on you as an individual. Like, what kind of standards do you want in order to have, or what kind of standards that you would desire for yourself as a relationship. And in some cases, I may be weak in one area, where the other person may be strong. And their weakness may be my strength. So when it comes to relationship, being equally yoked,
well as a relationship with God. So yeah, I don't think there's nothing too holy, but just having standard and what you're trying to attain.
Can a person be too holy today? I don't think so. Better each other. Better that person and help them get to where you are and vice versa. I mean, if you go into a relationship, I don't think you go into the relationship knowing the person's state. I think y'all should be on one accord. And then if there's some kind of stringing along, then you would just use that opportunity to try and get that person up the path where they need to be. Continuously pray, infiltrate the Bible reading, so on and so forth. And if it doesn't work, then you disregard yourself from that. Especially if that's not what you're looking for, if it's not what you want. But most definitely, I don't think so. Just a matter of knowing what it is that you want, and if it gets to that point ever within the relationship, strive for better.
I'm wondering if y'all meant like too religious, and I think being religious could be a problem because they could begin. I mean, I'm not sure if everyone was here, but okay, let's say for example, someone feeling as though you shouldn't watch TV for entertainment, like you should just watch TBN and the Word Network all day, for example, because that's how they feel like they should as a Christian. I think that could pose as an issue because that ain't being a Christian. That's like I don't even know what to call that, but that's like you forcing yourself to do something to commit to a work or to commit to a habit because you think it's pleasing God more than someone that serves God and they also watch SpongeBob. So that's where that could be an issue for me because it's like that's not being a Christian. And I'm sure, as them being your partner, they're going to try and push that view on you. So that's where that would be a problem. Like, when you have, like, these practices and these habits you have, that you call being a Christian, but they're really not, I think that's where, like, that could clash.
What if the person said, like, it's not that I believe you should watch TVN, but I believe I can use that time to pray. So I don't watch TV. I use my spare time to pray and read the Bible. Would you pursue someone like that who does not watch TV? Who says, I don't need to waste my time on the internet unless I'm looking for stuff about Jesus?
Hey, it's fast. I'm trying to navigate how to answer that. Me personally, that I understand what they're saying, but then, at the same time,
it's not something that most Christians realistically do.
Right, and that's just, the issue with that is, if your heart ain't really in it, so I'm just praying that person, like, their heart is really in it, and I'm seeking the Lord, and if your heart is in that, and that's truly what you believe, that, this is pleasing to God, and, I love doing this, and, this is my joy, I'm happy for you, I can't say that I literally, like the Bible says, pray without ceasing, like non-stop, like literally 24 hours I'm praying. I can't say that I still do that. I'm mindful of the Lord, and I try my best to have my directions and different things in my life guided by the child of God. But to say like someone just strictly like, okay, how I view it is like they're pretty much being a stick in the mud, and like honestly, I can't date someone that's like just.
See,
I don't know, like you trying to stay in the corner and like, I don't know, that would be a struggle for me. I don't know. That's just, it's just so unorthodox. Like, I don't know. I wonder if there's really people like that who are like, oh, I'm just gonna go in the corner and pray instead of watching TV. I don't know, but that's a bit of a struggle for me. I don't know.
All right, I got a comment on this one. I love the fact that we're talking about this. Personal convictions, one different. That's kind of different. I think
like somebody said a little bit earlier about being kind of too religious in a sense. So I always tell people it's about the relationship, not about so much about the religiousness in a sense. Not saying that I'm taking away from religion, but what I am saying is that you have to have a relationship with God first and foremost. So for me, when I look at things like this, and so we can kind of add this to a couple of things. So we kind of took it to the extreme just now in reference to somebody saying that they can. I don't like that word extreme, but in any case, someone's saying that I don't watch TV because at the end of the day I can use that time praying, or I can be using that time elsewhere, and that's the truth. I believe that's the truth. I look at it like this. Sometimes it's more personal convictions more than anything, rather than it being on a biblical foundation or a biblical aspect. We can use, and people do this all the time, pick and choose different verses that will go with kind of what they're trying to implement in a sense. But I think it's about not only the leadership that you're under when it comes to like the church aspect of things. And I just brought this to a whole different level. But like for me, for example, if I may listen to I don't know, let's just say
just tell us what you listen to, Ma. You don't gotta be
so like for example, Jonathan McReynolds, for example, right? So I may listen to Jonathan McReynolds, and somebody else may say, well, his music seems a little bit more secular than, even though his message is about God, it may be a little bit more, they use drums in his music,
Jonathan is my favorite. Just putting that out there.
As far as quote unquote too holy, yes, she can be too holy, but that's only if she's being a hypocrite. Bible talks about it in Matthew 6. So if she's just acting holy, like she's just doing it and she's excluding other people and saying, "Oh, you're not being righteous or whatever," and basically being judgmental with it. Yes, she can be too holy, but if she is genuinely trying to seek God and she sacrifices certain things for God genuinely, then yeah, I would actually love that. The thing is, with that comes certain restraints on time, because perhaps you would want to be talking to her, or like a lot of couples, they'll be on the phone on a call for hours and hours and hours and end. Someone like that might not be wanting to spend time on the phone for hours on end, and that would be a sacrifice that both of you would have to make. And even then, I still would say that she couldn't be too holy. I'd still love her being that way.
There's a difference between morality and the discretionary. There are some things, explicitly taught, I should say, when it comes down to the Word of God. Things that you don't have to compromise on, because it's point blank, it's staring you in the face. And then there are some things like the Apostle Paul said that it may be all things are expedient, but not necessarily wise. Like if I know eating a certain type of meat offend my brother, I would not eat that meat, at the end of the day. So I guess when it comes down to the person who is, like they say, too holy, I think it depends on if they're going to try and push all of those standards that they have and personal convictions on me, whereas I would feel restricted in the relationship and certain aspect of it. Now, a person who is genuinely seeking God and it comes down to morality, they are straight and things that the Bible are clear on, they follow wholeheartedly, I will agree. But when it comes down to making like personal convictions and preferences, standards of holiness, then I might have a problem with dating a person like that. For instance, a person would tell me if I may be watching a movie, and they say, well, I don't believe in watching movies because it's from the world, it's the world's entertainment, we might have an issue there. So, I mean, things like that, simple little things like that can at the end of the day make you feel as though you are restricted in a relationship because I do not want to offend the individual. But yeah, at the same time, you just want to be yourself too. So I don't know.
And to add to this point, the issue with giving into other people's convictions is that if you're doing something unto God, but you're not doing it with a willing heart, you're not doing it with a cheerful spirit. The Bible even talks about like giving unto someone or giving unto the Lord, but you're not giving with a cheerful heart. So even today, I don't give like offering. Like if I'm feeling tight and I'm feeling like, oh my goodness, like I would be putting myself in a deep hole if I give this offering today, blah blah blah. I do not give it, because if I give it and like I'm basically giving it with that sense, with that spirit, I might as well have not given it, because it's not going to be accepted. You know, it's not pleasing unto God. So it's just that's the thing. When we do things for the Lord, we need to do it with a willing heart, like with a cheerful spirit, and say, you know, I want to do this. Like I have a joy. I want to please God, and I feel happy to do this thing for God. So that's the issue there. Is so like you can't watch movies and shows and stuff. Like I'm not doing it, but I'm not happy about it. Like it's making me a bitter Christian. Like that's not helpful to my relationship. So yeah.
As far as being too holy, taking it back to the original context we were talking about of too much prayer, too much going to church, I don't see that as, I know we took it to a place of more like negativity of a person who is really more of being hypocritical or doing things for others to see. But I think if someone is being holy and just is a good thing, and that holiness is just them wanting to grow close to the Lord and doing the things that they feel are really bringing them closer to the Lord, I don't see that would be a bad thing. I think if anyone feel that a person is too holy, then they may need to recheck themselves and see why they put that person to a higher standard than themselves, or what they're doing that they feel that they should be or that they may not be doing, and then making those adjustments accordingly.
So, I feel like I feel like a lot of you kind of took the example and automatically was like, well, that person's probably a hypocrite, or that person's probably religious, or are they really doing that with a pure heart? That's what I gathered from a lot of your responses. And so it made me wonder, like, why would we automatically think that a person who wants to be holy, as the Bible tells us, be holy, for God is holy. So it makes me wonder, like, why would we, and I'm going to say we as a group, automatically think that a person who's trying to be holy is doing it with the wrong intention. So for me, can a person be too holy? Technically no, I guess not. They can't be too holy, just because, I mean, like, I think number one, and someone else said that, like, you could use that to build upon each other. But from a female standpoint, I would appreciate if my husband was quote unquote too holy, personally.
I think we also got to keep in mind that, as the Bible talks about, man looketh on the outward appearance, but God look on the heart. Many times we view someone as being too holy because at the end of the day, like, I don't know who said it a little bit earlier, but I think a lot of it has to be self-evaluation as well. We ourselves kind of, it's not falling short in a sense, but maybe we just need to reevaluate what we're doing in our lives and the standard that we've set, or the standard that's there already, and kind of reevaluate that.
So you said that some were perhaps thinking from the point, like, why would we automatically think that she might be a hypocrite? But I mean, for me, because I'm the one who said the person might be a hypocrite, it's not so much that I'm thinking, well, this person might be a hypocrite, but that, the Bible always warns about people who are false prophets, or people, like, he actually makes that
understand having to evaluate, and that's definitely important because there are people who are doing it from a religious standpoint or whatever, saying like, I want like a standpoint to make themselves feel better than other people, like, oh, I pray longer than you, I read my Bible longer than you, and all that other stuff. And that's definitely wise to evaluate it, but that doesn't mean that every person that is doing this for someone else's benefit or for our benefit. Some people just want to be closer to the Lord, and so if that's the case, if they want to read the Bible for 4 hours a day, and I hypothetically only read the Bible for 10 minutes a day, then if anything, I should be striving to be more like them, not like, oh no, I can't date him. He reads the Bible too long.
I agree with you.
Yeah, that's why I didn't speak to holiness. I spoke more to religiousness, which is basically when you try to make works, and like you try to make works in what you do your grace instead of Jesus. That's what I was speaking to. So like the person that thinks because they're reading more of the Bible for more time, they have more of an access to Jesus or more of an access to God, and that they're holier than thou, as the term says, because I read the Bible for such and such, and I go to church for such and such, and I blah blah blah. That's what I was speaking to, but not so much like a person that's just striving, and maybe they're trying to encourage you. They're still not pushing it on you, but they're encouraging you to kind of get deeper. That's cool. That's good that they're holy. But it's just a religiousness where it's like even personal convictions you're trying to push on me. Like, come on. No.
What do you have to offer to our relationship today? Not tomorrow, not last week, but today.
All right. For me right now, today, this is a loaded question. It is a loaded question. I think throughout the past couple of years of how things have been with me, I think stability has been a major key for me in terms of staying focused on not only just my goals, not only with just business and my relationship with God, and at the end of the day, I want to be the right type of significant other, the right type of spouse made to my future wife. And I think for me, the leadership aspect of things and knowing how to lead a home is something that not only I think that I've honed into a little bit more, but more of the fact that I am kind of just working on even still. I think that daily that's something I'm working on. So for me, it's like not just that stability, leadership. The financial aspect is a little bit different because I don't. The financial aspect I don't like really talk, and I'm not going to say talking about, but more the fact that I want that to be an emphasis on our relationship so much, but more the fact that I want to be able to be the right provider. So those I feel like is I think my top three in a sense, what I would have to offer right now.
Do I have to offer? Okay, if we want to talk financially, now I'm stable. I can stand on my own. So if whomever comes, that's just adding to what I have. I'm able to compromise. When I say that, I mean I'm able to. I take the other person into consideration. So it's not just my way. I have no problem being under the leadership of a man that is following God. This is in the 1960s, but I believe that being able to submit to your head is important, and I have no problem doing that with a man that knows how to lead. I'm just easygoing, and I don't know. If you love God and you care about me, we can get along. That's it.
Three things: loyalty, stability, and support.
I have only one thing to offer, and that's love, as best as I can do it, because all things like finances and stability stability and all those stuff. Those are things you offer to a person in order to make them feel comfortable in living with you. But love is what you offer to a relationship, and whether or not it actually fails or succeeds.
Love don't pay no bills, though.
Indeed, it don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we talk about relationships, relationship is a concept, but the money and all that stuff are things you offer to the human being themselves, not the concept of relationship.
But at the end of the day, bills are a thing. Bills are real. I think finance play a big part in that too.
I think what they're trying to say is that, yes, love is important, but we're talking about a marriage and how you sustain a marriage. So y'all could be married and living in a tent on Skid Row in California, and that could be okay.
I don't think you. Okay, let me try to break down what I'm trying to say. So, okay, for instance, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Rachel and Jacob. But remember, there were these two people, and they went. I think it was into Egypt, and he had to pretend that his wife was his sister and all this stuff. If your relationship is based off of, okay, this person can provide and all this stuff, and it falls apart during those sorts of tribulations and stuff, what I'm saying is that a marriage or a relationship is based upon the love, and then the money and all that stuff, those are things that you give to a person. Those are things that build stability within a house or a home. But ultimately, what keeps the relationship going, or what you can offer to a relationship, a concept, is the love itself. All those other things are things that you give to the person.
I think you can't have one without the other. And I'm saying that because, like you said, you can have all the love in the world, but if you want Skid Row in a tent, you're going to be miserable. Exactly. I'm not saying that love isn't important. That's a given. But we're talking about sustainability. You need more than love for you to be able to sustain a marriage. I mean, that's, they go, can't have one without the other. I mean, it's sad to say, but in this day and time, it is the truth. You can't do it. You could love somebody to death and be miserable sometimes. For me, you can't have one without the other. I'm not saying that it's all about the money, but love don't pay no bills is correct.
Money talks.
I think that's kind of where relationships fall apart then, because ultimately, what about when you go into a relationship with a person and hard times happen? Then what? So it is ultimately about love, because I could come into this relationship, say I love you emotionally or whatever, but I'm not willing to go through the long suffering. I'm not willing to go through when I have to forget, like keep no records of wrongdoings. If we ultimately look into, okay, this person has money, this person can afford to provide and all this stuff, then no relationship is typically gonna last, because there are always gonna be hard times. And you can't offer anything to a relationship besides love, because money is not going to make it last, because you see all types of rich people being inside broken marriages. So the only thing you really can offer is love at the end of the day.
At number 15, I disagree with what you're saying. Okay, so with the point of what they're saying, I don't think anyone is saying that money is everything. I don't think anyone's saying that a lot of money has to be there, or a lot of things have to be bought, or material things. None of those things matter at the end of the day. I think it's more of the concept of having stability and being able to go into a future moving forward, knowing that you're taken care of, knowing that, not to say that hard times won't come, but I don't necessarily think that anyone would want to go and get into anything knowing right off the bat that they're always going to be struggling. And I don't think anyone would want that life unless called by the Lord to be maybe like a missionary to a struggling third world country. But it's just a matter of the stability of the fact. And as far as offering the love that you're saying, love that's a necessity as well. But I think everything goes, and everything has its place, and everything has its time as well. And finances are a big thing, but that's not the only thing. It's finances, trust, loyalty. All those things are big key factors, in my opinion.
And above all of that, as long as we both striving, if we are
Christians and we live in the life that we're supposed to be living, we should be able to,
I have a question. So would you date a man? I know that we have like different standards for men, women. You know, if a woman falls on hard time and it's taking a while for her to find a job, you know, people are more easygoing with that. But if it's a man and he's being unemployed for some time, you know, people are gonna put some pressure on him. But my question is, would you date a man that he's on the up and coming, like he's probably still in school, probably getting some certification, some training, and you know what his goals are, and they are realistic. He's not just talking. He's just hyping himself up. But that level of financial success isn't there yet, but you see potential in it. Would you date someone on the up and coming?
Why do you say that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Of course. Because he has a vision and he has a goal in mind.
Okay, I asked because so many times, even family members and close friends, you know, you have all these things going on, but they don't believe in you, or they don't place themselves in your orbit until they see the cash flow coming, until they see you buy a new car, until they see you live behind the gates or some nice place. But when you're working up there, sometimes it feels like, it looks like an uphill struggle. It was like, I don't know if he's actually going to do it. And, you know, that's the question I had in mind. Okay, I got a comment on that. I think that goals with that, and I love the fact that she said about goals just now, like, but I think goals without actions is dead. I think that you can have a goal in mind all day, but put no action towards it, it'll never happen. I think a lot of times, and I'm saying that even from my youth, I had so many aspirations, I had so many goals of what I wanted to do, but zero effort in a sense was made to get there. And I think now that, you know, I'm at this age, it's all about if I set a goal, it has to be actions put towards it. And consistency, that's part of it as well. Allowing yourself to say, hey, at the end of the day, I have a goal in mind, I'm putting actions towards it, and at the end of the day, I'm gonna keep with it no matter what. Because I know a lot of people that, you know, say they want to be somewhere, but then at the end of the day, they're still stagnant, they're complacent in their place. And I think that's part of, we talk about a relationship, the Bible talks about a house built on sand and a house built on the rock. For me, it has to be a foundation. That biblical foundation, that foundation set on God has to be there. And then from there, if it's not set on there, and this is what I always tell people, is like, for me, is if it's not set there, then at the end of the day, it's just like that house on the sand. So if there's no kind of foundation there, and there's no kind of I would say efforts in a sense because I've seen marriages that have fallen on hard times, but at the end of the day they sustain, because at the end of the day they have each other back. Because you're gonna go through that. You're gonna go through that no matter what, even in relationships, even before marriage, you're gonna go through that. There's gonna be a time where that person may need you to be there for them. And if this is truly who you believe that God has for you, then by all means, and that's why I talk about the whole, no limit on things for me, because it's like, if I believe that this is who God has for me, and praying and seeking God's face about it, then at the end of the day, there is no limit.
I was thinking about the aspect of what men and women are looking for in relationships, because what men and women are looking for from a psychological point of view, I heard it be two different things. I think when it comes down to relationships, women are looking more for security, and that security has to do with finances. It has to do with the man being suitable, as a partner, and all of that different stuff. Whereas with the male, I think his whole outlook on it is different. So, in an idealistic world, I think love actually is the answer to everything. But because we live in a world such as this, whereas there's decay on every side, and we understand the necessity of finances, we understand that finances is also important. And at the same time, like the Bible said, money answered, all things in that sense of it. So, I mean, it's hard to say, but at the end of the day, I think you need all of those things to make it work. And so, from the standpoint of understanding what women need, we understand that women need security, and that's something that you have to offer at the table. You can't just go with anything other than security, because it's from a general standpoint, that's not what they're looking for psychologically. I think it was Jordan Peterson actually was talking about what women expect and what men expected out of a relationship, as opposed to write down the different expectations. But I know number one on a woman's agenda is not really anything else but security. So I think that is something that needs to be offered at the table of negotiation.
Well, security is a very vital factor in a woman's eyes. I think that you need to take into account is that it's not so much security of finances that we essential. We want security of character. We want a character that is stable, because believe you me, if a man or two things to rub together, what? His character is stable, that means we will make it work. That means he can be willing to work and do what he got to do to provide for his family.
Exactly.
When you see a big house don't start like a big house. A big house starts with a foundation.
That's right. Yeah, I understand. So, I don't know if I made it unclear, but I was never trying to say, without, that you should not have money involved in the whole sequence or equation. I'm just saying, ultimately, money and all that stuff are kind of extraneous, or they're stuff that come outside the border. What mainly is there, you have to have the man loving the woman and the woman respecting the man. And if the man is loved if the man loves the woman and the woman respects him, then regardless of money and all that stuff, it'll work out. The relationship will thrive. So I'm saying that's all you can really offer to it.
So the woman don't have to love the man; she just have to respect him.
Ultimately, yeah, that's how men actually perceive love. If a man gets disrespected by a woman, then he ultimately is not gonna love her. But if she respects him and she does certain things to show, well, okay, I recognize your authority and I see you as the head honcho, the alpha male, ultimately that's gonna make him love her.
Yeah, but I also feel like love has to play on both ends. Love and respect. I think the love and respect has to be on both ends, because at the end of the day, women want to be respected as well.
Amen.
We can't sit here and take that as that is not there. They want to be respected as well as men want to be respected as well. So I think I think both of you guys, everyone that said everything, I think all those from love to respect to finances, I think all that has to play a vital role in a relationship. Remember, two out of three marriages end up in divorce. Finances is one of the biggest ones, if not number one. So I think all that has to take in consideration, and I think also the fact that working on yourself is key during this time while you're single, or maybe in a relationship, not married yet, or whatever the case may be. Use this time to work on you. You got to work on you, because if you don't, one, how can you be good for somebody else? I think a lot of times we want something from someone, but we're not willing to give what that person wants, in a sense. We want, this person has to have all these qualities, yada yada yada, but we have spent zero time working on ourselves.
I just have a quick. I have a comment. I'm not gonna state any opinions. I agree with number 9 just now, but to what number 15 said, I don't have any opinions. I just have a quote. Money can't buy happiness, but poverty can't buy anything. That's it.